Alright, McCloskey's win back AR-15 rifle 5 years after Black Lives Matter protest confrontation. So these guys were, basically, him and his wife did a pose with their firearms, and then basically the activists got mad at them and then sued them or some shit like that, and then they got their guns taken away or some shit. It was fucking stupid. It was so stupid. But anyways, the Missouri couple who went viral in 2020 for pulling guns on Black Lives Matter protesters outside their leafy St. Louis mansion scored a major legal win last week. Oh, that's what it was, because they were outside their home. Like, they were probably causing some shit, right? Louis Mansion scored a major legal win last week by regaining possession of their weapons. Mark and Patricia McCloskey collected their AR-15 assault rifle from Missouri officials Friday, 5 years after it was seized by law enforcement, following the protest debacle. It only took 3 lawsuits, 2 trips to the Court of Appeals, and 1,847 days, but I got my AR-15 back. Yeah, as you should. I hate to say it, but when mob mentality happens and they're like literally right outside your home, and they look like they might cause some shit, and they have like some shit in their hands that might throw. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but having your firearm just to be that extra level of deterrent to make sure they're not trying to cause some shit. I hate to say it, that's fine. Because it's literally a mob group of people outside your fucking home. Like, what? And he's a politician, too. And then given what's happened in the last, right, in the last, like, 6, right, 10, 20 years? Yeah, no, fuck that shit. I wouldn't take any fucking chances. We defended our home. Were persecuted by the left. Smeared by the press. And threatened with death, but we never backed down. Oh yeah, they were getting death threats too, as usual. No, as one does. Yeah, that's wild to me too. McCloskey paired the announcement with a photo of himself brandishing the weapon outside his home, and even donned the same pink polo and khakis he wore that fateful June day. The image of Mark and Patricia, both St. Louis lawyers, wielding their weapons against protesters, became one of the most emblematic images of the chaotic summer. Oh, they're both lawyers, too. Oh, so they knew their rights. So it's like, yeah. Yeah, this is... Honestly, I think this is a open and shut case. I think they tried to just fuck these people over, really. When BLM protesters raged across the country during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns. Protesters had jumped the gates of their private neighborhood and swarmed the street en route to the former St. Louis mayor's mansion when the McCloskey's stepped out on their home to ward the marchers away. Mark held the AR-15 while Patricia pointed a pistol at the crowd, afterwards claiming they felt threatened by the protesters. But the couple had their guns seized after the incident, and they were charged with unlawful use of weapons. A year later, they pled guilty to second-degree harassment and misdemeanor fourth-degree assault, but the charges were later expunged. And the McCloskey's were fighting to get their guns back all the while, filing numerous lawsuits throughout. That gun may have only been worth $1,500 or something, and it cost me a lot of time and a lot of effort to get it back. But you have to do that, Mark told Fox Digital after he finally won. You have to let them know that you will never back down, you'll never give up. Each and every one of us owns a personal responsibility for our freedom and our democratic republic. Mark added, explaining he and Patricia expected to get their pistol back within a week. If you've been wronged, if you've been overreached by the leftist government, damn, he's just calling them out. You can't give up. You can't let them get an inch. And basically, he's fighting the deep state. You have it. What do we got here? Manhunt launched for fugitive migrant who tried to ram ICE officers in the car. Oh yeah, that's now you got use of a deadly weapon, right? A pair of illegal migrants tried to ram federal immigration agents during a bust in Denver before fleeing the feds with a child sex abuse convict still on the loose. Mexican national Jose Mendez Chavez. Oh, look, another person from South America. A pedophile who entered the U.S. illegally at least half a dozen times was behind the wheel Thursday when he tried to slam into immigration and customs enforcement agents near Colorado Springs. Oh my goodness. Who would? Wow, Colorado. Oh, wait. Is this in? Oh, no, Denver. Sorry. Well, Denver's kind of a shithole. So, Mendez was not an innocent victim. An ICE spokesperson told the outlet he is an abuser who plays the system and is now wanted for assault on a federal officer. They got it looks like SWAT. Actually, no, I don't think that's SWAT. I think that's just the federal. That's the feds using, like, or probably getting help from police department. I don't know where they got this. This looks like a police department fucking or the SWAT vehicle, yeah. The feds were conducting a raid at a construction site in Black Forest when they were attacked. Agents fired the 3 shots at the migrant sped away, but authorities nabbed the passenger in the vehicle, identified as Francisco Zapata Pacheco? Pacheco. Sorry. A few hours later. He is being held for deportation proceedings, KMGH said. Meanwhile, I slammed the Colorado Rapid Response Network, a group that has been tipping off migrants about pending federal raids in the area, as despicable. 2 criminal aliens attempted to ram their vehicles into ICE officers during a targeted enforcement operation in Colorado Springs, a department spokesperson said. ICE officers are facing an 830% increase in assaults. Wait, what? I'm sorry. Huh? They said lies and violent rhetoric incite hostility against the brave men and women of ICE, who put their lives on the line every day to protect American communities, as we witnessed in Colorado. I mean, ICE is just basically like another police department in a sense. I mean, that's how I view it as. They just have their jurisdiction is dealing with, right, border immigration and stuff like that, right? I think even people using, like, false IDs and right, impersonating people too, because they deal with immigration, right? And usually when you're impersonating, right, that deals with crossing state lines or forgery and shit like that, right? And so, a lot of shit. Obviously, it's dependent on case to case, but yeah. Oh yeah, remember this one? What to know about the Soho crypto kidnapping case and the suspect John Waltz, William Duplessis. Yeah. Yeah. They fucking got this guy. Yeah, that shit was insane. Apparently he was being held hostage. Trump admin plans first Golden Domu. Test the space-based missile defense system report. Pentagon officials are aiming to test President Trump's space-based Golden Dome missile defense system to safeguard the U.S. in the 4th quarter of 2028, according to a report. That time frame lines up with Trump's ambitious goal to have it done in 3 years and comes amid pitches from defense contractors to score coveted contracts to develop the cutting-edge system. They want a win to point to in November 2028. a defense official told CNN. Oh, gross. And DoD, Department of Defense, wants to avoid anything they perceive will slow them down. This sounds like a deep state fucking hack. The test, which will be conducted by the Missile Defense Agency, is expected to be called FTIX, which stands for Flight Test Integrated, and a nod to how it will assess the Golden Dome's vast array of sensors and weapon systems, according to the report. Development of the state-of-the-art missile defense system is expected to cost about $175 billion, according to Trump, who tapped Jen Michael Gutin, vice chair of operations at the Space Force, to oversee the ambitious project in May. Congress has already allocated $25 billion in funding for the Golden Dome and the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which Trump signed into law last month. Military officials have explored space-based missile defense technologies for decades, including during Ronald Reagan's Star Wars program. Yeah, I forgot about that. Jeez. Also known as the Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI. Space-based missile defense technology can be advantageous because it can help thwart an enemy missile much earlier in its trajectory than other technologies that the U.S. currently has in its arsenal. Well, I mean, because it go fast. It go real fast. It can also reduce geographical barriers. Also, because you're using the gravitational force of the Earth to pull a fucking nuke, like basically a weapon. So yeah, it's gonna go real fast. It can also reduce geographical barriers and catch certain types of enemy missiles at a stage when they are slower and easier to intercept. Yes, because it's gonna reach terminal velocity faster, right? Max velocity. However, there are many drawbacks. The U.S. would need to make significant technological advances to develop that system, which is likely to be very costly, and could entice other countries to weaponize space. The defense officials called it a hard problem and technically very risky, CNN reported. Possible number of satellites needed to achieve a probability of engagement success is going to be very high, given the time and area needed to cover the continental United States, the defense official said. So yeah, basically what they want to do is they want to send a bunch of satellites, right? That's going to be all over the United States. And they're just going to be sensors. And basically whenever there's any form of attack happening, they're going to fucking hone in real quick. Plans for the test in 2028 are expected to be phase 1 of the project. A deluge of defense contractors and other private companies have been jockeying for contracts to help develop the massive defense system. Basically, you're going to have NASA and SpaceX shoot off a bunch of satellites, probably in the next coming years, right? Precise details of how the Golden Dome system will function are not fully known. Well, because they don't want to tell you secrets, so yeah. Trump has taken inspiration from Israel's fetid Iron Dome system, which helps defend populated areas with short-range attacks. Trump's plans would encompass much more sophisticated missiles such as ballistic and hypersonic, I'm kind of tired, missiles that may potentially be fired off from much more distant locations than what Iron Dome defends against. Yeah, the Iron Dome is still very limited, as you saw with how Israel was still getting hit, right? It's not 100%. Well, basically, with the Golden Dome, This will make it more, right, have more certainty that there's more protection versus the Iron Dome. Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world. Basically the ICBMs, right, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Trump teased in May. Gutlein has admitted that the Pentagon faces enormous challenges in successful completing the project. Challenges and successfully, I think the real technical challenge will be building the space-based interceptor, Gutlein said at a summit last month. That technology exists, I believe. I believe we have proven every element of the physics and that we can make it work. What we have not proven is, first, can I do it economically? And then second, can I do it at a scale? Can I build enough satellites to get after the threat? Can I expand the industrial base fast enough to build those satellites? Yes, basically. Production, yes. Production and costs. Right, you have the framework, but do you think you're gonna have the money and production to build fast enough to send those up as quick as possible? The initiative comes amid advancements in the American space industry, with tycoons such as Elon Musk working to bring down the cost of launching satellites. The Defense Department didn't reply to a request for comment Sunday. Yeah. Basically. There you have it. Oh yeah, wasn't there there's apparently a space launch that was supposed to happen? Oh, they changed the time. They keep moving it back. Okay, I guess never mind then. Viewers horrified after doc about adult star Bonnie Blue, who slept with 1,000 men, airs on major TV network. Literal porn. A major TV network has defended its decision to air a documentary about controversial porn star Bonnie Blue after viewers labeled it literal porn. Oh, what do you mean? Channel 4, a British free TV station premiered 1,000 Men and Me, the Bonnie Blue story in the UK on Wednesday evening. But the 1-hour documentary, which details the troubling tale of the 26-year-old as she has sex with 1,000 men over 1,057 men in 12 hours, has been met with widespread criticism, being jaw-droppingly graphic from viewers. Now Channel 4 has hit back at critics, arguing the pornographic content is compliant with local broadcasting codes. Oh. I guess there's some explicit I don't know what kind of explicit content, but I guess there's explicit content. Explicit content is then the documentary is editorially justified and provides essential context, making pornographic content and Bonnie's job, and this film is about her work and the response to it, the broadcaster said. Crucially, the content is presented in a non-gratuitous manner, and the viewers will be alerted of the sexual content and a program warning at the start to ensure they ensured from the outset the nature of the program. The program was broadcast after Watershed, and it's compliant with the Ofcom broadcasting code, but it has done little to quell the outrage online, with some labeling the documentary billed as delving behind the headlines. Maybe I should watch the fucking thing just to see what the fuck people are raging about. Clickbait and rage bait to discover what life's really like in Bonnie. Dude, honestly, I don't really want to watch it because it's fucking boring as fuck probably. As grubby just seconds in. Channel 4 has sunk a new low. Why is there a documentary on Bonnie Blue? Why are they trying to normalize her behavior? On national television, one asked on X. Oh, they're getting X comments. Yeah, no, you shouldn't do that. This Body Blue documentary is absolutely depressing. Well, yeah, it should be depressing. I feel like I'm losing my mind watching this, mused another. As one raged, Channel 4, you are truly disgusting for airing a documentary about Bonnie Blue in any... Wait, why didn't they... Okay. In any way, shape, or form. Genuinely disappointing how that woman is allowed a platform of any sort. Others said the film, that makes said explores the central question, polarizing debate about her. Is she a dangerous predator, pandering to male fantasies and perpetuating the patriarchy, or an empowered sex-positive businesswoman having the last laugh, failed to answer its own probing questions. The film also features multiple scenes of Blue, whose real name is Tia Billinger, and various men engaging in graphic sexual acts. She's also shown completely new at times, and as well as while shooting adult videos with other porn stars. As a result, many branded the film disturbing, sickening, and degrading, arguing it should never have been shown on TV. During the documentary, Blue is reportedly seen preparing for her most notorious stunt by buying 1,600 condoms, 50 balaclavas, and numbing lube. Gee, what? It's not just the stunt itself. Along with the film that has sparked outrage, with Blue's extreme approach to filming adult content regularly attracting widespread criticism. Dr. Charlotte Proudman, family lawyer, said the language Bonnie uses around being tied down, gagged and choked, for public consumption directly mirrors some of the most violent forms of abuse I see survivors disclose in courtrooms. Others challenged Blue's suggestion that she is a feminist. I don't know. Stating to be a feminist and then to get railed through like that. Yeah, no, she's not a feminist. Stating her normalization of degrading porn is worrying. One thing's for sure, her reign on OnlyFans has come to an end, with the subscription platform popularized by sex workers banning Blue after she announced she was hosting a petting zoo where she was set to be tied up in a glass box like a zoo animal for anyone of legal age to join her. What the fuck does she mean by that? What the fuck? A spokesperson for OnlyFans said extreme challenge content is not permitted on the site, stating it goes against its acceptable use policy and terms of service. Any breach of our terms of service results in content or account deactivation, the spokesperson told The Sun last month. Oh, that's what, right. They're talking to The Sun, that's why. The move has brought an abrupt end to her mammoth earnings on the platform and also ended her long-time friendship with Australian sex worker Annie Knight, famously dubbed Australia's most sexually active woman. The former marketing executive told newscom.au, that's Australia, last week their friendship turned sour after Blue went on media rampage after her horrifying sex event was canned, during which time she seemingly took a swipe at Knight. Taking aim at OnlyFans, Blue claimed the platform took unprecedented action to punish her for making content while multiple other creators are mimicking my entire marketing techniques and events. Well, what do you mean? Bitch, you don't have a patent or a copyright on these things. It was the same way Kai Cenat was trying to be like, oh, I'm patenting this streamer university thing. And it's just like, dude, no one can do that shit because they don't have the fucking money. Like, what? The only difference is I don't cry and I don't vlog hospital journeys. I don't just keep smiling, she fumed, referring to Knight's recent hospitalization for endometriosis flare-up. Oh yeah, she was the woman who was she was getting railed through, and then she basically almost got fucking she almost had an anus prolapse or vagina prolapse. I don't know. But I'm just kidding. Endometriosis is basically inflammation that happens because you're getting fucking railed through too much. Right. Tissue similar to the lining of the uterus grows in other places in the body outside the uterus. We'll just do Wikipedia. Basically, she was growing more tissue because she was getting railed through so much. Tissue most often grows on or around reproductive, such as the ovary. Intensity about 20. Have no symptoms. While for some it can be a debilitating disease, common symptoms include pelvic pain, heavy, and painful periods, pain with bowel movements, painful urination, pain during sexual intercourse, and infertility. So it just basically you fucked up your wall line, right? Your lining, basically. Nearly half of those affected with chronic pelvic pain, while 70% feel pain during menstruation. Up to half of the affected individuals are infertile. Besides physical symptoms, endometriosis can affect a person's mental health and social life. There you go. Pelvic inflammatory disease, irritable bowel syndrome, interstitial cystis, and fibromyalgia. Oh yeah, that's another common one, right? Fibromyalgia. This one happens in old people a lot. Anyways. There you have it. Flair, it was a stab in the back for Knight, who ultimately decided it was time to cut the British sex worker out of her life. I'd spoken to her just a week prior, and everything was fine, and then she got banned from OnlyFans, and the next thing I know, she's bad-mouthing me online, using my health issues against me and trying to get me banned as well, Knight told tooth.com.au. Well, I mean, aren't you guys in the same industry trying to take each other's fucking business? Yeah. I don't know how, but sure. Her ship was going down and she tried to pull down as many people with her as possible. That's something I would absolutely never do. She tried to take credit for other people's careers and insinuate that people copied her, namely me, as a huge stab in the back. I had said she had been growing increasingly concerned about the direction Blue's content was going, and noting that consent and respect are at the forefront of her own videos. I think the derogatory nature of the petting zoo was horrifying and opened the floodgates for abuse and other horrible things to occur. It was a line I wouldn't even dream of crossing, the 27-year-old, who was originally from Melbourne, explained. I think at the end of the day, our morals are completely different. Consent is so important, and has always been important that I convey that in my content. Sex is meant to be enjoyable for both parties, and that's the most important thing to me to educate people on. Prior to this, the pair had filmed controversial content with barely legal young men, both in Australia and in Fiji, where their tourist visas were abruptly cancelled over the stunt. Yeah, because that's shady as fuck. Right? So, yeah, that's what. There you have it. Woman killed near California park after being torn apart by a pack of stray dogs. Pit bulls shot by cops. Oh, it was a homeless person. A woman was killed after being torn apart by a pack of stray dogs near a park in Southern California, authorities said. Teodora Mendoza, 51, was rushed to the hospital with severe injuries to her face and later deceased after the attack involving more than a dozen dogs on Thursday. The LA Times report. Yeah, you got a fucking pack of stray dogs, right? That go around sometimes. You gotta be careful. While police were tending to the two victims lying some 30 yards apart, one of the stray dogs, a pit bull, charged at an officer who opened fire and killed the animal. At the time that the officer was rendering aid to the female, there was two dogs that ran out of a brush. He then fired 2 rounds to protect him and the female that he was rendering aid to. Police department spokesperson Araceli Maida told CBS News. It was a bit of a chaotic scene of the first because there were multiple dogs out there, Sergeant Chris Gray of the San Bernardino Police Department told the LA Times. Oh, in San Bernardino. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Crime scenes tape and discarded clothing could be seen at the site. Basically, in San Bernardino, there's some homeless encampment areas in there in that area too. And I think that's just one of those homeless encampment areas that got attacked by the pack of dogs. Fatal attack video, CBS News shows. Many of the homeless people who live in the area where the attack took place keep unleashed dogs for protection. Neighbor said, there it is. Mendoza's son, 21-year-old Alex Alenzano, said his mother often stayed in a homeless encampment in the park. She added, she had been homeless for over a year and usually split her time between San Bernardino and Banning, where Lozano now lives, he said, adding that he hadn't spoken to her in some time. My grandpa from Texas called and said that my mom was attacked by pit bulls. That's how I found out, he told the LA Times. 14 dogs were removed from the park by Animal Services. Police Department spokesperson Araceli Mata said, California saw the highest number of insurance claims for dog bites in the most recently available figures, with 2,104 in 2023, according to the data from the Insurance Information Institute. The Golden State also tops the list for the highest average dog bit claim cost at $78,818. Medical expenses and stuff, I'm guessing. And payout for damages. There you have it. Be careful of dogs, man. If you see a dog just come rushing at you and they look like they're coming to fuck you up, yeah, don't stand idly by. Right? Some dogs are, for whatever reason, they get bloodthirsty and they start attacking humans. So yeah, protect yourself. Especially if they're fucking, right, homeless wild dogs, right? Ukrainian officials arrested in a large-scale drone bribery scheme. At least 4 Ukrainian officials have been arrested in a large-scale corruption scheme involving the purchase of drones designed to defend Kiev against Russia, President Vladimir Zelensky said. Just 3 days after Zelensky restored the independence of Ukrainian's top anti-corruption agencies, following fierce public backlash, the Prez said the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office unveiled a plot by a sitting lawmaker, 2 local officials, and several National Guard service members to skim money meant to defend their nation. The essence of the scheme was to conclude state contracts with supplier companies at deliberately inflated prices. The agencies added Saturday in a statement, noting the kickbacks to the officials were up to 30% of the contract's inflated costs. Okay. Center lawmakers pressure. The plot involved heads of district and city military civil administrations who allegedly helped cook the books on purchases of drones and electronic jamming equipment, vital tools used to intercept the ever-escalating bombardment from Ukraine's Russian invaders. Drones have proven to be key to Ukraine's attacks on Moscow, too, with the majority of Ukrainian attacks on Russian military assets involving UAVs, including a recent overnight strike on an oil depot. Unfortunately, these corruption schemes involve the procurement of electronic warfare systems and FPV drones. There must be full and fair accountability for this, Zelensky said on social media. There can only be zero tolerance for corruption, clear teamwork to expose corruption, and as a result, a just sentence, he said. While Ukrainian officials did not name the suspects in the case, the president said 4 people have been arrested so far. Ukraine's Interior Ministry added that the National Guard personnel implicated in the scheme were removed from their positions as the prosecutor's office moves forward with the case. The arrests come after the independence of Nabu and Sapo were secured Thursday following nationwide protests over Zelensky ratifying a bill that would have put a political appointee in charge of agencies. While Zelensky initially defended the move as a means to weed out Russian influence in the agencies, he later agreed to let the agencies operate as they were. Nabu and Sapo were born following Ukraine's revolution of dignity in 2014, which called for a major cleanup of Kiev after ousting pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych, whose administration was marred in corruption. The agencies have previously targeted some of Zelensky's close allies, including former Deputy Minister Olsky Chernyshov. Oh, sorry, fucking Russian and goddamn Ukrainian names. I'm bad. With the cases often causing major shakeups in Kiev, while its leadership tries to focus on the war. Critics have warned Zelensky that ongoing corruption undermines Ukraine's ability to fight back against Russia, as well as threatens the country's hopes of joining the European Union. There you have it. And that's what, basically, that's what Russia doesn't want. Well, they don't want you in NATO, actually. That's the main thing. 14, well, I mean, it's probably more than that, really. 14 improvised explosive devices found in home of Tennessee man who threatened public officials, cops. Oh, is this the guy with the pipe bomb? Oh, no, this is a different guy. Oh, no, is this the same guy? I don't, hold on. Police found more than a dozen improvised explosive devices in the residence of a Tennessee man who allegedly threatened to kill public officials and law enforcement officials. Jesus Christ. Oh, full ham. Polk County Sheriff's deputies went to the ramshackle wooded home of Kevin Wade O'Neill, 54, who had several outstanding warrants for the alleged threats, the sheriff's office said in a statement. For months, O'Neill had made increasingly unhinged comments on social media, including death threats, claiming the sheriff's office had been stalking him, deliberately ignoring criminal activity and using Wiccan Did he just really say fucking Wiccan magic? Oh shit. To engage in electronic torture. Okay. Electronic torture, according to the New York Times. He would frequently ask Facebook friends if they knew the address of Sheriff Steve Ross, whom he routinely referred to as demon-possessed man. That was Jesus. This, I guess this guy is super religious. He's fighting demons in his head. After deputies placed O'Neill under arrest, they noticed something that appeared to be an IED smoldering inside the bedroom where they found him, officials said. Officers immediately evacuated the home and summoned officers with the Chattanooga Police Department bomb squad, as well as alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives members. So basically, whenever you see whenever police departments see explosives, they basically have to immediately call in the bomb team, because they don't have any gear to protect them if some bad shit happens. And even if you do have gear to protect you, right, the gear won't always protect you, right? The officers found 14 crudely made IEDs inside the home and learned O'Neill had attempted to detonate them as he was being detained. No way. Holy shit, that motherfucker's crazy. He tried to suicide, right? Amber Liley, O'Neill's niece, told the outlet his anger at the sheriff's office was the result of a fight he was having with a former friend. She said her uncle became convinced the friend had public officials or part of a satanic witchcraft cult. Holy shit. Look, there are those right if he's talking about like the Zizian cult people, sure, we get it, but not, come on. Using electronic forms of torture to drive people crazy and manipulate their lives. She said he was deeply mentally disturbed and struggled with substance abuse, noting their family had unsuccessfully tried to find the treatment he needed after his mental health worsened over the years, culminating with violent outbursts and hallucinations. Oh, so he was mentally unstable, basically. I don't think this situation would ever have an ending where somebody wasn't hurt. He told the outlet he needed help, but there was no help. O'Neill was slapped with 9 counts of attempted first-degree murder, one of which of the 9 Polk County detectives and deputies who were present during the arrest. He also got an additional 2 attempted first-degree murder charges for 2 other people who were inside the residence at the time. Holy shit. No way. He was trying to fucking kill everybody. This guy did not give a fuck. He was going full Allah Akbar, literally. O'Neill is also facing 14 counts of prohibited weapons and 1 count of possession of explosive components for the makeshift bombs. He's being held at Polk County Jail and his bond has yet to be determined. Officials say, dude, are you saying that he tried to kill some of his family members too? If it all went down to hell? Oh, shit. It was basically, if I'm gonna get fucked up, everyone's coming with me, right? Jesus. Dude, why is there so many people like this? Holy fuck, man. It was not immediately known whether O'Neill had retained or been assigned an attorney. There you have it. There is our news readings for now. And yeah, I'll leave everything in the everything will be in the description. Take a look. But yeah, there we have it.